Watch this scene. Watch it carefully. Keep your eye on Bob. He's number 8.
Oh, God, this better not be a snuff film in disguise. My nerves aren't up for it. Watch your ass, Bob. Watch your ass.
What did you see?
A nerd. A dork. No, a
Do
geek.
you think Bob's action was honest or dishonest?
Well, honestly, Guy,
you
I
saw
have
such an
no
incident,
clue what's going on here.
what would you do about it? That incident came to involve each of us in this room. And it caused us to consider the subject of honesty from many angles.
It sure did. That's why Mr. Barker, he's athletic director of our school, suggested that we talk it over with you. Because,
But what if I already know how to be
maybe it'll
honest and
help
don't
you
give a damn
to
about
know
any
what
of
we
you?
found out about honesty.
And we found out plenty. To be honest may sound easy. Some of the time it is. But it can be a real problem.
Especially when wanting to be honest conflicts with other things you want to do.
Like trying to get laid by our Ice Queen girlfriends.
It happens that Jim was a witness. Let's see again exactly what Jim saw.
I hate to be a stickler, but the only thing that Jim saw was the reflection of a camera in a mirror. Haha, science! Well, these educational films don't make themselves. Time to go carve my initials in a desk.
Well, what would you have done?
I wanted to do the right thing, the honest thing. But what was it? Question Bob about it? Tell Ben that Bob was in his locker? Report it to Mr. Barker? I didn't know what to do. So, I put off doing anything.
Serendipity,
That
Jim!
night I didn't get much sleep. The next day at school was awful. I just had to do something, tell somebody. Then, after school, well, I guess when you're in a state like that, it doesn't take much to set you off.
Say, it's Bob!
Thrill as we walk through every second of Bob's concession transaction. Don't forget to get correct change, Bob. Oh, get that receipt, Bob. Don't forget it.
Let's ask him over.
Let's not. What do you mean? That money
Oh,
he's
God,
spending.
Bob,
I
don't forget
know
to get
where
your
he got
receipt.
In the locker room yesterday, after he thought everybody had gone, I saw Bob take something from Ben's pants pocket. I was late dressing, I saw it. I guess it
Wait,
doesn't
was
take a detective
Ben
to
wearing the
figure out
pants at the
where he got
time?
money to buy that pen. But Bob, I can't believe it.
Not Bob.
ask Ben if he
Not
was
my
missing
Bob.
Not yet.
Have you reported it?
Not yet.
But you have to.
Shut up,
I'll
Iris.
tell Mr. Barker about it right away.
No, you don't. You tell Mr. Barker, and whatever else happens, he'll kick Bob off the team. Where'll we be with our star center gone and half the schedule left to play?
Vaguely, Noah Wiley has a point.
When you put it that way. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I'd realized I shouldn't have blurted out in public that way. So I asked the kids to promise me not to say a word.
And did they?
Yes, we promised, but then...
This one's on me, Terry.
Can I get
Here's what
one
happened.
word in, woman?
After Jim and Nick left the drugstore, Terry and I talked about what Jim had told us until, Terry, there's nothing for you to do but tell Mr. Barker about Bob.
But we promised Jim.
A promise to tell a lie doesn't count.
I didn't promise to tell a lie.
It's the same thing. I can't understand your being so calm about having a thief on your team.
I have a gun
It's
on
your duty
you.
to tell Mr. Barker, and if you don't, I will.
And she was my ride home.
Well, there I was, wanting to be square with Jim, but, well, I didn't want Rose mad at me, and it did seem dishonest to conceal a thing like that. So at practice the next day, I'd made up my mind to speak to Mr. Barker. I don't know just how I was going to say it, but Nick and Jim had seen me. They moved in fast to keep me from talking.
And closed in with a pristine two-man Barker
day.
block.
I'm not sure I wanted to. Anyway,
When I found out what happened, I marched right into this office the next day and told Mr. Barker. Now, you've seen what actually happened. What Jim saw. Well, here's the picture I described to Mr. Barker.
I'm about to show you what the locker room looked like through the eyes of a flaming hell beast.
That's the picture I gave Mr. Barker. At the time, I really thought I was telling the truth.
But you have to understand where I come from. Truth is a sauce you put on babies before you devour them.
Of course, after Rose made a report, I did what was the obvious thing for me to do. I questioned Bob and Ben. And I found that that can wait.
But that can wait, because this is the 50s and none of us have anything to do.
About honesty.
Well, one thing I learned, to be honest, you have to find the truth. That's not always easy. I saw Bob take something from Ben's locker. And then I saw him buy an expensive pen.
And then I saw a bird in the park. Pooped on a guy.
You didn't know I'd stolen it.
That's right.
And you didn't even give me the benefit of the doubt.
No.
You should have asked yourself some questions, Jim.
Jim, did the fact that you're a complete idiot enter into any of your
What's your
hypotheses?
past experience of the way Bob operates?
Jim, your physics teacher might say that you formed your hypothesis and jumped to your conclusion. You skipped that all-important part of testing your hypothesis.
And also the thinking part.
The truth. But now can we draw up another general principle about honesty?
I'd say the next step is pretty obvious.
Shut up, Iris.
Tell the truth.
Is it that simple?
Look, the sign on the door said opinionated bitch from the 50s, apply within.
The money. That wasn't the truth. At least, not the way Jim told me the story.
Maybe it was my fault.
Jim, for the love of everything holy, shut your stinking
Let's
trap.
call it express the truth. We mean being careful that what you say is the truth. And also being careful when you talk about a thing, being sure that people understand
By
what you mean.
thumb pointing,
but there's something more to
emphatically
being
at
honest
the
than
camera.
just telling the truth. When I promised Jim not to say anything, and then went to you intending to talk, wasn't that dishonest?
And what about me? Maybe I wasn't honest when I broke it up and wouldn't let him tell.
And he's got a terrible
We said at the
girlfriend.
start that honesty often involves conflicts. Let's think back. It seems to me, Terry, that your intentions were honorable.
And it's true, you have a fucking terrible girlfriend.
Jim, and your own sense of doing what was right. You believed you were doing the right thing, but Nick stopped you. There's a good deal to be said for his intentions, too. He was thinking
Don't get
of
me
the
wrong,
good
you're all a bunch of wrongdoers who will all burn in
Never came
hell.
about that we had to harbor a known thief on our team in order to win games.
I guess I wasn't thinking very deep. But I could just see the whole season blowing up in our faces.
Our big, round, beefy pie
Maybe
faces.
inside, I didn't really believe Bob was a thief.
Inside. I think that's the clue to this bigger thing we're seeking. How's this? Know yourself. Examine your motives. Know what you're doing and why you're doing it. If your intentions aren't honest, then your deed can't be completely honest.
I guess this is the time for me to explain my hypocrisy.
Actually, Rose, you
When I
really
came
don't
in
need
to
to
tell
bother.
Mr. Barker
We all
about
know how
Bob,
evil
I
you are, and we plan
started
on
by
burning you at the
saying
stake
certain
later.
things. What I said and what I was really thinking were two different things. It was something like this. Mr. Barker, there's something you ought to know about one of your boys.
Bob is a huge thief, but I also think you should know he is a communist.
The boys won't say anything, so I feel I must be honest and tell you. I wish
You were going to listen to my mind power, Mr. Barker. You were going to allow my mind to take over. And you were going to kick that thief Bob off the team.
I can just see it. You'll kick Bob off the team, and Terry will become the regular center. My Terry. All he needs is a chance. He'll be the star of the team.
My dingus boyfriend will be the granny shot champ of the East. Yay, we almost won.
That, Mr. Barker, is the real reason why I had to tell you. Whether or not I thought I was telling the truth, my motive being what it was, I was not being honest.
Thanks, Rose. This hasn't been easy, I know. But you've learned a lesson. A lesson in honesty. Honesty to yourself and honesty to others. That lesson will stand you in good stead all your life.
I think we've all learned a good lesson. I've always heard that honesty is the best policy.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to hit the bricks,
It
Rose.
isn't always easy to be honest. But when you have a problem involving your own honesty, it'll help you to remember these 3 pointers. Know yourself. Be sure of your intentions, the motives behind what you're doing and saying. Find the truth. Test it in the light of past experience and by checking in every way you can. And express the truth. Make sure you say what you mean to say. And make sure your meaning is clear to your listeners.
And don't be lazy on your follow-through on those layups. Get out there and hustle.
Tell us the truth. What really happened?
Well, as for that fancy pen, I'd wanted just such a pen for a long time.
Okay,
And
Bob.
I bought it with
If
money
I have to
my
take
aunt
one
gave
more
me
trip
for my
back into that
birthday.
locker room, we're going to find you dead in
And
there.
as for what
No
happened
more
in the locker
exposition. He said the truth.
Well, it was this way. As soon as I finished dressing, I headed out into the gym.
Boy, I'm glad you flashed back to this again. I want to make sure that it's burned on the back of my retinas.
Then I remembered something and came back. I looked around for Ben, but he wasn't there. So I went to his locker. You see, Ben had been doing sound effects for the school radio program that morning. And he had borrowed something we'd need in practice. That's all. Honest.
I take back my order. I'll have that snuff film